Here's another Friday Night Live with me, Lady Lexi, and we are going to talk about two things. Well, actually, three. We are going to talk about fun things. We are going to talk about Christmas and reaching out to people because they might be alone. So, combined with that is challenges and clarity. Now, I decided to go do another challenge. Well, actually, the December Clarity Challenge is still going on. So that is a paid version. If you want to gift yourself the gift of clarity, please do so. There's a link in the description later on. Of course, you can also give that gift of clarity to other people. And included will be the transformation page. And if correct, also the free Christmas angel. Now, why am I talking about giving yourself the gift of clarity? Because I just recorded a short video and I was thinking about, but what is it that I want to get across? Now, I didn't want to get across that I wanted to do a paid challenge, but I did want to get across that I am going to do a free challenge. So if you're like, oh, hang on, why did you have to start with that part about giving other people the gift of clarity? Well, I do believe that it's really important to give yourself that gift. So this week, I have been busy with those things related to clarity. Now, you might know that last week I talked about people who lost their homes due to an explosion. We now know that it's the result of revenge. But those people, they need some cheer too, right? Because it's going to be Christmas for them as well. Last week, as in yesterday, I took a number of notebooks to one of the centers there, sort of like a community center. And well, the first two are already gone while I was there, so that's good. People want to write down things that they are dealing with. And well, whereas I have been working on this one, and you might want to check this out. You also can find a little video about it on Instagram, but there's also a blog post about it. And if you're wondering where to go, ladylexi.com/blog. It's not much more difficult. Anyway, in that blog post, I talk about things that you can do in order to get clarity, but more importantly, how to deal with objections. And because of it, I started, and you cannot really see it. So whereas I made this transformation script a while ago, and I still believe it works, I did something similar, which is right here. And well, I like to do things in a visual manner. So today we are going to do something creative. And well, I'm going to start by using something that I have never used before. So it's a magnetic little board, including a marker. And what I came up was 7 things that you can do in order to get clarity, and possibly also during the holidays. So thinking about it, I actually said that I am going to do a Christmas challenge. So I'm going to do one challenge or one topic a day, starting with probably on Christmas Eve. Now, one of the first things is this one, music. Now, you might be a little bit surprised when I talk about music, but music is about expressing yourself. So we can think about writing down lyrics for a song text. Maybe other people will write down melodies, but just think about the mere fact that you can sing Christmas songs, and maybe you absolutely do not like Christmas songs, but maybe there's another song which really speaks to you. Now, what you might not be aware of is the importance of using your voice to speak up and to speak out. So every once in a while, you will find me in the car and I'll be doing things like and well, I can tell you, usually it doesn't go that smooth and there's like big gaps in there because of my voice. My voice is always, there's always a little mucus somewhere, so it's a little hoarse. But singing along can actually cheer you up. It can also cause a rush of adrenaline. I'm not sure if that's good, depending on where you are, of course. But yes, music can make such a difference. And especially if you can play music with someone else, then that's so cool. But yes, there are the karaoke bars too when it comes to music. So it's up to you what you want to do. But the mere fact that you're singing, and yes, I know there is sort of like a taboo on the whole singing thing. People are like, well, really? Should you be doing that? What if I cannot hold a tune? Well, I've discovered that singing in the car always is a good thing. And of course, not everyone is in the car. There are also people doing it in the shower. And well, maybe when it's quiet, you can do it as well. So the good thing about the festivities is we all are gathered and then we can listen to Christmas tunes. There are so many Christmas tunes playing on the radio. And well, just start singing along and people will join in. Just do it and see, because it starts with expressing yourself and finding your voice, and finding your voice can be done through music. So I'm writing down a few things as well, because I've noticed that when I'm talking to you out there, that I'm actually coming up with ideas too. Now, so the second thing is writing, which you just saw me doing. I told you about those notebooks, right? That I gave to people, and they actually said, okay, now I can write down all the things that I've heard and I've lived through. So it's a little bit weird knowing that there is, well, there is still support, but not necessarily from the community center. So things have been moved to other locations. So now people only go there to pick up the mail, the snail mail. And but I know they are still dealing with it, and they know so too. So when I dropped by last Friday, they said, you be sure to drop by too. And they're always the sweetest of people. And when you're alone during Christmas, those are good places to go to places where other people are. And, just even if it's for a cup of tea or for a bit of a talk, there's always something you can do, which brings me back to the Christmas angel. So the Christmas angel is somewhere here on my phone, right here. And, well, I want you to check it out. You can print it, you can pimp it, you can hold the phone and say, Merry Christmas. It's actually a good thing to do for kids if they don't have anything to do. Which gets me to the whole creativity thing. But, I'm doing things in the wrong order here. So, okay, so let me do that. Instead of number 2 being writing, well, actually, I did talk about the writing. So write down your story. And I'm going to change something. So here's a brush. So I'm doing it on the go instead of a big whiteboard behind me. Actually, this fits me quite well. So the third one was the Christmas angel. Now, I am aware that I am going really quickly, and I wanted this to go a little bit less chaotic, but this is how my brain works. If you've seen me more often, then you know this. So, um, let me go back to the writing, and then I'll go to the Christmas angel. So, the writing, the good thing about writing is there are endless possibilities. You can go in an imaginative world. You can write down life sucks. And then next you can be like, oh, but hang on, I can write it down. And it might be true at the moment, but and that's when we get to this transformation sheet. Yes, it has been used. And then you can think, but what if I could change that and I could make it into a better life? And when I talked about give yourself the gift of clarity, I also talked about give yourself the gift of this transformation sheet. Actually, if you are watching, well, if you go to Instagram, but yes, I will put it down in the description too. I'm starting to learn it slowly but surely. The more I say it, the more I'm actually doing it. It's with, and I think a lot of people are dealing with this. We are filled with good intentions, but then actually remembering them and doing it and not being distracted, oh, that's a whole different ball game. So that's why when I'm talking to you, I'm also taking notes. So write down what's in your mind. I don't know what this was. I just took it out of the wrapping. So did you care that there's tape on there? But well, that's me. And yes, this is live. So you can actually see me being a little bit annoyed and distracted by this part. Anyway, it's here now. So writing, think about it. What is it that you would like to express? And once it's expressed, like I said, you can change it. So do yourself a favor, do others a favor, and get this transformation page. Of course, if you do the clarity challenge, then it's part of the package, just like the Christmas angel is. As in, if you don't want to do that, then just get this page. Do yourself a favor. There's an entire script on one page. Now, the Christmas angel. I already showed it to you. Let me show it again, if it's there still. And actually, how does this work? Yeah, like this. But this is hard to do it the way it should be done. So, yeah, okay. I'm stopping this. Well, this thing you can print, you can pimp, you can hold it like this, you can say smile. But there is one word in the middle. It says hugs. That's the one that's really important, hugs. So if you don't have time to write cards and post them by snail mail, which can be very expensive nowadays, then think about this one, and well, it's linked to being creative, which is good. It's you are thinking about doing something new, and when you set your intention, which also applies to singing, playing music, writing, and this and all the other ones that we're going to get, you will notice that because your conscious mind is busy doing something like coloring or singing, thinking about the lyrics or whatever it is, laughing, the subconscious part of the mind gets a chance to come to the surface. So get your mind bored and you would be surprised what happens. Now, I had another number 3 because I'm changing the order, but well, it's all about spontaneity. And the next one is about pictures. So there we go. Photos, pictures. So that's number 4. There we go. A lot of people get inspired by looking around and taking pictures of what they see. It gives them purpose. I take a lot of pictures with this little guy. So now in his Santa outfit, he even has a, I don't know if you noticed this. Oh, he's dropping down. But he even has a Christmas bandana. So, I don't know if, yes, well, we want you to be able to see its face. So, this Chief Rockstar, he goes with me wherever I go on my travels. Well, that is, as long as it's good weather, then he does. Since I'm here in the Netherlands, well, that's a little bit of a problem because, well, most of the time it's raining over here. Yes, I'll be careful. That's one of the things you don't notice. But when I see certain things, and I'm like, oh, I want it done the way it should be done. And as long as I can talk and do this thing at the same time, I don't think I have to worry too much. But yes, people have asked me, is this your kid or something? Well, I don't have kids, so I don't know. You tell me. But I like this, and it makes people smile. So, pictures, photos. What can you do? What do you like? So, I take a lot of pictures, not just of the little guy, but also of the view of things that I want to capture, places where I've been, going to concerts, and also, of course, that's not just pictures, that's also videos. But if you go through my phone, then you basically see my life just by scrolling through the pictures. And, going back down memory lane can give you clarity, but also by just looking at what really appeals to you. What do you like? What makes you happy? Just check out those things. And we often use pictures as a reminder of, well, exactly that, what makes us happy. And it's a way to express ourselves and show others what we are working on, what we're busy with, or what we have done or experienced. So those are things to consider going through your photos, and especially taking pictures. Really, if you see something, then don't think, I don't have time to take a picture, but actually pause for a sec and do take that picture. And most certainly nowadays, with the phones that we have, it's so easy to take pictures. But yes, there are still people, I'm one of those, who actually use the old-fashioned cameras. Well, they're not old-fashioned because they're digital cameras nowadays. But yes, do something with it. So use them to figure out what inspires you. So the next one is about drawings. Well, as you may have noticed, I have been drawing the Christmas angel. It's a really, it's a very simple one, but it explains what I want to get out there. So that's number 5, drawing. There we go. Drawing. Be creative. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Be creative. So I'm going to say something funny, which I believe is funny. There's this guy. He's called Brendan Burchard. And he always surprises me because when he holds up his Well, he uses these, so the post-it notes. Then he says, okay, take a picture. And then he just poses so you can take that picture. He is so immensely funny, that guy. Anyway, drawings, they don't have to be perfect, like I said. It's about putting your feelings in there. And the good thing about coloring or drawing is you can also use colors. And colors can be really an expression of the mood that you're in. So red can be a sign of action, of passion. It can also be like anger, like something that you need to get rid of. So, sorry for the noise. I didn't realize it was always almost empty. Now I know. So, yes, going back to drawing. You can do it outside. You can do it while you are on public transportation. You can do it while you're waiting for someone. You can even do it while you're on the phone with someone. And there's this term called doodling. So, just making little funny, well, I don't know if they're necessarily funny, but it helps you to actually focus. And I know there are people who can't stand it when you would be doodling and talking to them at the same time. But for people who are neurodiverse, so who are neurodivergent, like me, for instance, it actually helps me to focus on certain things, not look at the person, but listen instead. But drawings are also about being creative. I mean, you can paint, you can do it on a small piece of paper, you can do it on a huge canvas, whatever works for you. And it's kind of nice to actually be able to go through a booklet. So they used to call it a dummy in my time. So dummy was like completely blank pages. And then you would draw. So I've been drawing a lot when I was at the Academy of Arts. And later, of course, when I didn't use public transportation anymore because I switched to the car, I didn't do it as much anymore. But yes, it was one of the favorite things to do because it helped me process things, and it gives attention to detail. So if there's someone you admire or there's something that you really like, then consider using a pencil or whatever it is. And actually, I wrote down a little something yesterday during my coaching training video. Well, something dropped down, which was this. And look over there. There is a smiley there. That's me. Long hair and all. And well, I sometimes just make it into this. This is there. You just need to find it. But there is something rewarding about actually drawing things yourself. Now, of course, by taking all of this, my mini magnetic boards got lost. Again, drawing, especially if you send an intention prior to drawing, can also distract you and give you the opportunity to let things come to the surface. So you can guide your thoughts, sort of, by setting that intention. And you can also dismiss, let go, saying release when you want to let go of certain other thoughts. So what's next on the list? There is the drawing, which I already talked about. Printing and pimping. I'll tell you a little something. Doing it like this means that I'm going to talk about the 7 things, the 7 tools pretty quickly, and then I still have time left. Well, we'll see what happens. And here I'm holding the brush in my hands. Okay. Printing and pimping, of course, that has to do with the Christmas angel, which I wrote down. So, what did I leave out? We talked about. Oh, yeah, that's right, because this is now number 5, and number 5 would be printing and pimping. So, printing and pimping had to do with the Christmas angel. And of course, maybe you have other coloring sheets, plates, whatever you want to call them, available somewhere, especially when you go somewhere with the kids. Taking something with you, including coloring pencil, can make a bunch of difference. So, I'm writing down knitting, but it could also be crochet or whatever it is. And now I'm going to write down the number underneath. Knitting or anything old-fashioned creative. I actually made Christmas ornaments a couple of years ago. I actually like to do it when I have some time, and you go to the supermarkets. You usually can see all those little things where you can make these ornaments to hang in the Christmas tree. And you can use fabric to do it. You can, like I said, use crochet. You can make cards and use thread and needle to make them really pretty. It depends on what you like. And again, it's a good way to just let your thoughts go. So again, being creative, setting the intention, and really enjoying it. So, get yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. Yes, I like my tumblers. I love my tumblers. And just sit down, listen to some music, maybe watch something in the background. Over here, we have like 3 Christmas movies a day. And I usually put them on just to be in the background. So it's not like I'm really paying attention to them unless they're really, really, really good. But, well, it's nice as pastime. And it gives me the opportunity to actually write things down, things I'm working on, or maybe doing my Duolingo. So up till recently, I've been doing Spanish lessons for almost 3 years. Then because of the kids I go to, for some reason, we started doing mathematics, which especially the younger one really loves. He came up with something else, music, and I think I put it down and then I stopped using it. And then he was, come on. And there are the songs on there, including Jingle Bells. And he was like, I've got 4 notes and you've got 3 notes. Well, that makes sense because I hadn't done that much, but actually it was kind of fun. And I do have a big keyboard here. And it's about setting it up and then just going for it. But it's kind of nice to do those things with the kids. Okay, what does that have to do with knitting or using thread and needle? Nothing at all, but it has to do with being creative. And it has to do with having fun. Because what I just said actually incorporates it all. You can do things with the kiddos, which they really love. And at the same time, like I said, it's about fun. It's about being in good company. And if there's no good company, then you can make it fun for yourself. So when you are doing whatever it is you are doing, like I said, get a cup of tea, get a cup of coffee, get a glass of water, and just enjoy yourself. And one of the things that I'm doing, so I've been using lately a red and green tumbler. I don't know if you call this a tumbler. I don't know what they call this. Normally the tumblers are the big ones. But yes, they needed to be washed. So I am using this one. And it's kind of cool to actually have multiple ones. And, talk about being creative. When it comes to this little guy, so I don't know if you saw that, but I didn't appreciate that. That's what I can say. So this little guy, there's this jacket here, and if I go out and it's cold, then he deserves a scarf. So I actually knitted a scarf last year, which is in Christmas colors. And then a friend of mine was so kind to actually do something else, and she made a second bag for me, which I'm going to hold up. So these are basically with their homemade clothes in there. So there's much more in there, like a sweater and a vest and everything. Um, but yeah, she was like, I'm going to make a sleeping bag. And I was like, well, actually, this is also kind of nice to store the things in. So there's one with the official clothing. So those are in this bag. But I like being creative. The only problem I usually have is I can be so allergic to a number of things, including wood. So it's a good thing they have like a drumming gloves, because nowadays I'm allergic to wood too. You could think that that could happen. But yes, be creative doing that stuff. Now, then the next one is going to be Lego. Now, you can wonder, what does Lego have to do with it? Oh, there's so much. There are like Christmas ornaments, fire stations that you can create. You come up with it, and Lego has figured it out. And the cool thing about Lego is that once you are done with doing whatever they have suggested, you can just take it apart and then start working on your own projects. So I've built a tiny house, I've built a truck, and I'm working on creating a fire station, actually. So I do have in the window still a little Christmas tree over there from Lego. But Lego is something which works for both adults and children, or children and adults. It depends on how you want to look at things. And depending on the time of year, you can create something with a theme. So last year I bought a lot of red and green Lego stones. I guess you call them Lego stones. In order to be able to actually create something for Christmas. I'm not sure if that was the smartest thing to do, but you just get a bucket, and then it's like 10 euros for a small bucket of stuff. And then, you just figure out what it is that you're going to do. And I've noticed that I can be very creative. So I'm looking at this moment at sunflowers in a vase. And I don't know if I can do it without, let me be careful. So they are not in the best shape, the flowers at the moment. I have to redo them. But you can see what I'm talking about. So this I actually came up with myself, and then I had to figure out how do I keep them standing. So, but yeah, I managed to do so. And actually, a friend of mine wanted one too. So I think she originally came up with the idea of building a Lego vase, or she said you can buy it somewhere. And then I was like, well, how about building one? And I've got multiple ones with nice bouquets in there on the side. I'm not going to get up and get them, but I've got tons of Lego things. And here is one of those Christmas things too. That's the train, the Christmas train, and that's actually in such a little pouch, so you can do it easily. Now, if you look in the middle, there's music, right? There is the jukebox. So I was like, I think it's a little bit lame to just put packages in the middle of the middle compartment. So I was like, well, you know what? Instead, I'm going to do something else. So I actually have like a piano over here. Well, I had a piano over here. I'm not sure where it has ended up. That's what happens when you start moving things around. Um, but yes, I always have so much fun looking at those things. I've got a camera made of Lego, and sometimes I start with something and then I start changing it, and it's so good for the whole process of being creative. So all these tools are something you can do during Christmas. But apart from being able to do them during Christmas, they are good because they stimulate you to be creative, which is good for your brains if you don't want to age too quickly, especially when it comes to remembering things and coming up with things. Then it's good to keep your brain active. So whether you create puzzles or you actually are creating music, playing music, especially when you use both hands. So for drumming, it's both hands and both feet. So that's good. And for playing the piano, it's both hands. So you use both halves of the brain because they have to work together, which is a good thing to do. So, and it's also good for the skills, the fine motor skills. So now getting back to the music and writing. So I don't know if you know this, but one of the things that I really want to do is I want to get a. I want to create a place where people can come to, which consists of tiny houses. But the whole goal is that people become aware of what has been bothering them, and then also become aware of how they can change life for a better life. And by showing them and talking to them about their mindsets and their beliefs, and then capturing them, and then also talk about, okay, but what is it that you actually want? And recording this, they can actually see a different future. They can experience the present, remember the pictures differently, and they can also experience the future differently. Now, because the future is the future, the question, of course, is can you actually take pictures? Probably, but then maybe you would need a little bit of AI to take a picture of someone and then change and put your head on there. I don't know. It could also be about something you see, a view you have. It doesn't really matter how perfect it is. There's no such thing as perfection. I know that I've been brought up with doing things perfectly, but it's about making sure you do things and not that you procrastinate because it's not perfect enough. That's not going to work. And that's one of the reasons why I do these things live and I hardly ever edit. So whenever I edit, there's something going on. For instance, I need to have it done within 1 minute, or it involves a meditation. And when I do meditation, I usually start by talking into the camera. And then at some point when I've recorded it, then I will add effects because there's no use looking at me because you need to have your eyes closed, your meditation. That usually works a lot better. And well, like I said, music underneath sounds. There is something in which is called binaural beats. So I will use those two to trigger certain brain waves to make things go deeper. So yeah, there's a lot involved when it comes to those kind of things. I'm not going to talk about music videos. That's a lot of editing, when it comes to documentaries. Yeah, lots of editing. So they say it takes 4 times the time of editing compared to taking things, capturing things. And I believe that's really true. Now, going back to the things that I want to set up. So they are sort of like, well, I don't think I normally use the word camps. So I'm a little bit like, what is the word that I usually use? So let me see. It should be somewhere on there. Well, I can't read it all. Um, but yes, it's places where people can go to in order to work on themselves. So they're sort of like retreats, but it's more than just retreat. Okay, having said so, one of the things that I want them to do is I want them to write a song, or I will help them write the song. So a good song usually consists of something which is like the way it is, then there is a twist, and it ends in a certain way. Now, when I talked about the the the, the past, the present, and the future, you can incorporate that so well in songs. And I believe that the power lies within the opportunity to actually change what's going on now and look towards the future. Now, here's one thing that I haven't mentioned, and I'm going to mention it now. So let me erase this for a sec. I'm so happy with this. So I'm going to write down joy. And let me erase this one too. And that's going to say happy. Well, actually, it's going to be a smiley. With a Christmas hat and a bell on there. So let me see if I can. Oh, this works so beautifully. So, in case you're wondering, what is she drawing? Well, smiling, smiley. I just made that one. Yeah, it's done really quickly. It's got a Christmas hat on, just like Chief Rockstar. You see the resemblance. Um, lots of hair. That's me. And, well, joy, being happy. That's one of the things that's so important. So I've been thinking a lot about the whole clarity and what's so important. And I've been listening to someone, and he talked about the importance of having fun. So it's about what can you do in order to make your dreams come true. And well, one of the things I always say, it's about repetition. It's about taking action, doing it one step at a time. Don't expect that you can do things the right way straight away and then we get back to perfection. But the mere fact that you're doing it makes all the difference. So, do you remember that I talked to you about Duolingo? So, I started doing Duolingo because my neighbor a few doors down actually did Duolingo. And so I picked it up. It made sense for me to learn Spanish. And I always had a very hard time with Spanish. For me, when they talk, it sounds like, oh, and I say again, oh, and, I can do it at turtle speed, which is nice. So then I can really listen over and over again what it is that they're saying. Now, I also talked to you about doing those things with the kids from a friend. So I'm their Auntie Lexi. I think I'm like their sugar auntie, and that sounds so wrong. I mean, anyway, I spoil them. That's what it comes down to. And I love spoiling them. But it's nice to actually work with them on certain things and explain things to them. And, it feels good. They appreciate it. And, well, it's nice to be able to contribute something to them. So, yes, that's fun. And again, when it comes to the things that you want to do, when we are reluctant, we're not going to do this. So I thought about it, like I said, a lot this week, because at times I don't want to start doing things either. And then I'm like, okay, I don't understand this, because I like coaching people. I like writing. I like doing things on video like I'm doing right now. I have no problem going live as long as I'm not too tired, that is, and not too distracted. I will say that too. So I was like, what happened that I keep postponing certain things? So I do them because, well, over a year ago, I said I'm going to post something on Instagram every day. Now, unfortunately, I have to admit that every once in a while, it's on average every day. But then again, it's about getting it out there. And knowing that I've done it on average a couple of days actually makes me more aware of, okay, I need to take the time out. Just like Duolingo, you have to do it before midnight. So usually I start after midnight, so it's already done. So don't postpone what you can do now. That's basically the message. But I was like, but I like it. So what's keeping me? And I realized that part of it was the result of me normally going to terrace and then start writing, with a nice latte on there. Of course, we couldn't do that during COVID. But yes, especially with all the traffic jams and the bad weather, I'm not that inclined to go outside. So I was like, what can I do to actually experience the joy again? And it got me back to what I said before, the intention. And the intention is so important. And the intention is not just saying to yourself, okay, I want to get this out there and writing it down, but also listening to music, which I know helps me calm my mind down. So I use an acoustic medley consisting of ballads in order to get to that place, which really works very well for me. I also do it when before I go to sleep, and when waking up, if I have the time, I put it on too. And then I come up with all these ideas like, okay, this is what I can do. And when I saw myself having fun instead of being sleepy or all those kind of things, it was such a big difference. And then I was like, okay, let's go do it. And then, I just do it. And those are the things that you want to think about. Like, what is it that gives you joy, and how can you create joy around it? That's why I came up with those 7 things that you can do, the 7 activities. So normally when we talk about tools, I will say, okay, meditate, write, and this time I've sort of leaned into activities you can do during Christmas. And yes, I will repeat again, sing Christmas carols, even when you're like, oh my God, I cannot do that. That's why they invented karaoke. That's all I want to say about that part. But yes, the whole creative thing, the drawing, the writing, it's the coloring, even knitting, uh, using needles to make Christmas cards, just, writing a little message in a card, even putting little stickers on there, glitters. It's something, of course, for pastime, as in you have all this free time all of a sudden. What are you going to do, especially when you have children? But on the other hand, it's so good for you too, to actually just relax. And like I said, when the conscious part of your brain is busy dealing with all those kind of things, it gives the subconscious part of the brain the chance to actually come to the surface. So if you put an intention out there, then you might actually come up with ideas. So have you noticed that in the beginning, I kept writing things down? So you haven't seen this, but there are a couple of words on there, when it's not written horizontally, but vertically or in an angle, then that's because, I was like, okay, I want to write this down. I want to think about this and I want to remember this. And that's one of the reasons why I actually love doing these videos, especially using StreamYard as I'm doing right now, because it records the recording and then I can actually edit it. So it shows me the transcript. And then I know, okay, so these are the two things that I want to choose. Then I'll upload it into a different app. InShot, and then I'll change it. So according to the format, it's vertical or horizontal or square. Usually I record vertical and make it into a square, and then I add a background if I want it to be horizontal, which of course is nice when you are looking at YouTube. But it's about doing things one step at a time, over and over again, but with a smile. You don't want to do things over and over again when you don't like them. So think about what the things are that you are good at, which made you proud of yourself, which still make you proud of yourself. So when we were kids, we loved to do certain things. And I'm not talking about playing with the dolls, but I am talking about the writing. And by the way, playing with the dolls is actually a way to express your imagination. So you don't actually have to play with the dolls. It's about what are they expressing? What are they saying? What are their dreams, their goals, their plans? What are they talking about? It's a way to process what's going on in the mind. So having said so, remember, sing, express yourself, because it's about getting that voice out there, about not just being heard, but also dare to express yourself. And a lot of people, we are like, never mind. And we feel like we are being judged. So let go of that. And especially during Christmas time when we are together and music is on, just go singing. I've got this friend, she's called Lavero. She sings wherever we are, and just sometimes I do want to disappear, but on the other hand, I'm so used to it. And she's having fun with it. So, as long as the owners don't say, okay, get out, I'm good to go. And actually, a lot of people actually enjoy it when she starts singing. But, she's got a loud voice. And, but that's the charm, and nowadays she's got her own band, Heaven Queen. So, yeah, that's a really good thing. Well, we talked about writing extensively, whether it's about writing down your story shaped like a song, or whether it's about what's holding you back and what you would like to transform, hence the transformation sheet. Whether it's about you can take pictures, maybe describe a little bit. So actually what I like about Instagram is, besides that I want to get something out there, regardless whether it's a video or picture or a quote, I always come up with a little something that describes why I'm writing it down and what the message is that I want to get across. So it's a way to express myself and to actually get ideas. So creativity and ideas, getting things from the subconscious mind to come to the surface and really help you out. That's what we want. Drawing, we talked about it, including about the Christmas angel, which is a little bit better version than this one, but it's about the idea. Then, of course, printing and pimping, still talking about the Christmas angel. Now, going one step back to the drawing, the good thing about drawing is you can also draw something that you want to become or want to be. And it doesn't have to be perfect as long as you know what you are talking about. So this is a perfect example of a smiley which has been changed to me. And I actually use it quite often as a little bit of a signature when I leave a little note behind for someone. And I might put that drawing on there like, hey, thank you, and I appreciate that. So, and of course it's unique, so people remember me just because I put it down there. So then I talked about the old fashions, creativity, like using like knitting, crochet, using thread and needle, literally making Christmas cards. But you can also, there are so many stores you can go to where you can just get those little stickers or other things or stamps, and you just make it yours. And that's not just fun for kids and to keep them quiet for a while or just have fun, but it's also good for you. I mean, this is also about you having fun, remember? And then the last one I talked about was Lego. So I'll show it once more in case you haven't seen it. This is a little Lego train. And, well, actually, this one came from a box, I think. I thought it was from a pouch. I don't know. So they call it a poly bag. But this, that's the jukebox that was in something else. So I like to combine the whole thing. And you can just express whatever it is you want with Lego, whether it is you create something from what's already out there, like you look at the manual and then you create something, or you give your own spin to it. The whole thing is about enjoying it, having fun, not getting too frustrated. When you're tired, you just leave it. So make sure you can just put everything back together when you're in the middle of a project. So yeah, let's call those projects. I think that's a good one. Projects to work on during Christmas. And, and then you can continue on another time. But it's, again, about taking action and doing it one step at a time, and especially doing it with a smile. Now, again, I talked about the Christmas angel. Let me repeat myself again. Not because I doubt that you heard it, but here it is. So yeah, see, different version. But the Christmas angel hugs. Look at it, hugs. Please send it to someone who needs a hug. I mean, you can download it if you want to donate something that's nice, but it's meant to actually be sent to people who are on their own, have gone through difficult situations. And maybe it makes you smile the moment that you actually start to pimp it. And, you can do it any way you want. There's no good or bad when it comes to it. You can even just hold it next to you and say, okay, Merry Christmas. Of course, when you've printed it and you've written something on there, it makes it more personal. So, and nowadays on your phone, you can also use all these coloring tools. So there's always something you can do. For now, I want to wish you happy holidays. But before you do, set an intention. And I really want you to listen to this. Set the intention that you are having fun, that it's not going to be an experience of lots of stress, but instead that it's something that you really enjoy. So capture memories, capture good conversations. If there's something you want to share, think about it, maybe write it down. And I mean, even if you write it down on a post-it note or you have it stored in your phone somewhere, it doesn't matter. But use it as a time to enjoy yourself, but also to get clarity. I mean, there's no better time than right now to get clarity, because we still want to finish the year strong and start with a boost the next year. But we also just want to be happy. And in this time that we need to do all these things, let's just have some fun and joy and enjoy what we're doing. So please check out the links in the description. Give a gift of clarity to someone. Be sure to send that Christmas angel to someone, so download it and do something with it. And yes, there will be a Christmas challenge, just so people can actually enjoy themselves between Christmas and New Year's Eve. Okay, I'll see you again next week. Remember, Christmas angel,